Today we are going to review the Pythagorean theorem and our special right triangles, including the 45-45-90 and the 30-60-90. Before we begin reviewing the Pythagorean theorem, I would like to review the parts of our right triangle. So recall that the two sides that form our right angle are the legs, and then the side that is across from our right angle will always be our hypotenuse. The Pythagorean theorem states that the leg squared plus the leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. And more commonly, you see this written as a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So just remember that c is always going to be representing our hypotenuse, which should be across from the right angle. So let's start with our first example with the red triangle. So I know my hypotenuse is across from my right angle. So that means x is representing my hypotenuse, and then one of my legs is 2, and the other leg is 5. So if I use the Pythagorean theorem, I can say that 2 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. 2 squared is 4 plus 5 squared, which is 25, equals x squared. 4 plus 25 equals 29. So I have 29 equals x squared. And then if I want to solve for x, I have to take the square root of both sides. So we get the square root of 29 equals x. And then lastly, make sure that you flip your equation to write your variable on the left. So the square root of 29 does not simplify any further. So our answer is x equals root 29. Now would be a great time to pause this video and give the blue triangle a try on your own, and then you can resume this video when you are ready to check your answer. So again, going across from my right angle is my hypotenuse, and then I have my two legs. So using the Pythagorean theorem, I can say that y squared plus 8 squared equals 15 squared. 8 squared becomes 64, and 15 squared becomes 225. Now if I'm trying to get y squared by itself, I want to subtract my 64 from both sides. This gives me y squared equals 161. Then just like I did in the previous problem, I can take the square root of both sides, and I get y equals root 161. Again, this problem does not simplify, so I can leave it just like that. Now before we move on to 45-45-90, I would like to show you a review in case you do need to simplify your square root. So let's just go up here quickly. And say you end up with the square root of 72. So to simplify this, we want to find the biggest perfect square that is a factor of our number inside. So if you go through the factors of 72, you end up finding the biggest perfect square to be 36. That is a factor. And it's 36 times 2 that gives us 72. So we can take the square root of that perfect square. So the square root of 36 is 6. We bring that out in front, and then our 2 would stay inside. So 6 root 2 would be simplified form of square root 72. So just make sure if that comes up on your homework at all that you are checking to see if you can simplify.